Hey guys, I have a workout for you this morning. It's a little early still, so it's dark, so hopefully you can see once I move over here into the light. So the way this workout is going to work is I've got these exercises separated out into sections. You don't have to do it that way. You could do a big circuit. It's your choice. But the way I'm going to send it to you in the picture is you have a group of 3 exercises that you're going to repeat for 30 seconds each, and then repeat that 4 times, those 3 exercises. You'll move on to the next group of exercises. Each exercise is 30 seconds again. Repeat 4 times. Then there's another section, 3 exercises, repeat 30 seconds each, 4 separate times. And then the last group of exercises is 3 minutes of Tabata 3 times. So I'll explain all that. Again, your choice. You could just circuit all the way through everything and keep repeating. If that's what you have time for, that's great. That ends up being a little less time sometimes. So some of the exercises are 2-sided. You'll do each side for 30 seconds. So it's not just 30 seconds for the both sides. All right, so the first exercise is a lunge and a bow and arrow. So this is with the band, and you'll take the band into your hands, make sure it's hooked up safely so it doesn't come off and hit you. But this one is a combination of a lunge and a kind of like a rowing action, but it kind of looks like a bow and arrow. So you step back and you pull, and you step back and you pull. Okay, you can alternate sides on these. So you're stepping kind of on a diagonal and pulling. Now, if for some reason the lunge part doesn't work, you can simply do just a little bit of a rotation. I'm just stepping my foot slightly backwards and rotating my body and pulling back. Okay, so it's a different kind of a row. There's some rotation involved in this one. And again, if possible, you'll do the lunge. The next exercise is a tricep kickback. Elbows stay locked into your sides. That's important. And then you can go palms up or palms down on this one. So I'm going to show you both. So elbows are locked into my sides, and then I'm pressing straight back, and then pressing straight back. And then really keeping my elbows as tight in as I can. What you don't want to do is help with the wrists, so be careful about that. Especially now I'm going to show you the palms up version. This one, it's easy to start trying to help with the wrists. So I'm squeezing back. Squeezing back. Okay. So, next exercise is a single-legged deadlift. I'm going to show you 3 different ways you can do a single-legged deadlift. First thing you want to really remember is the standing leg stays soft. So, we used to call these stiff-legged deadlifts. We used to do them with really, really heavy weight with straight legs and all kinds of really bad form, but all that's out the window. So, standing leg a little bit soft, and then I'm holding on to 2 dumbbells. You could do 1 or 2 or a single kettlebell, or maybe if you don't have weight, you don't use weight at all, and that's fine. So I'm tipping forward, standing leg is slightly bent. So what I don't want to do is let this hip come way open, okay? If it does a little bit, it's fine, but the idea is to keep both hip bones squared down towards the ground. So if I'm having a lot of trouble with balance, there's 2 ways you can modify this. Tippy, tippy, tippy toe on the ground. So I leave the right tippy toe on the ground, the one that was lifting, and I just hinge forward now with the tippy toe on the ground. And what that does is just give me a little bit of support. If that isn't working for you for some reason, then you can absolutely hold on to something. Same hand holding the weight, so you'll just use one weight, as lifting. So same hand holding as the leg that's lifting. And again, it's going to be about 30 seconds on each side. If you need more time, you take more time. And then the other thing I want to mention is for some reason your hamstring doesn't like deadlifts. Let's say you've got an injury that's making it so a deadlift doesn't work for you. You can turn this into more of a single-legged squat. So you could do the same thing. So I'm squatting down instead of tipping forward. I could still do my tippy toe on the ground. It's called a stagger stance squat. I could come over here and do a single-legged squat here. So just listen to your body. If the deadlifts don't work, then of course try a squat instead. And all of this could be done freestanding with no weight also. Okay, so if you don't have weight, that's okay. You still get to do it. All right, so the next exercise, step up and a press up. So I have a step. If you don't have a step, you could turn this into a squat and press, like this. You could turn it into a lunge and press, like that. Of course, you do both sides. But if you do have a step or a hearth or something like that you can step up on, something that's stable, so choose something that's very stable, you'll use that. So hands, I like to start them at my shoulders. Now I'll show you two options. You could also start down low, but I'm going to start at my shoulders. So I press up as I step up. I press up as I step up. And as I mentioned, you could bring them all the way down each time. So when I do them from my shoulder without bringing them down, the shoulders tend to work a little harder. If I bring them down and up, my heart rate goes up more. So there's benefits to both. All right, I'm going to do the other side. So pressing up as I go up. Now, really important on these, drive through the heel of the foot that's on the bench, okay, on the step. So really important. If you let the weight really rock way up into the ball of the foot, you might feel pressure on the knee. We don't want that. Pressing up as I go up. I'm making sure I'm breathing. I'm getting a little balance work here. All right, so that's the step up, press up. So I'm going to use my same step here to do what's called a plank walk. Now I can also do these on the ground. I could also do them on my knees, so I'll show you some options. So I'm going to go 30 seconds here, and what I'm going to do is alternate my lead arm, and hopefully you can see what I mean by that. So I come into my plank. Now I want to hold my hips as still as possible as I step into a high plank, lower back down into a low plank. I'll switch my lead now. My left hand goes, and then left elbow goes. Right hand goes, right elbow goes. Left, left, right, right, left, and left. All right, so that was 30 seconds. Now if I wanted to do these on the floor, if I do them on the floor on my toes, it's certainly harder. I could do them on my knees as well. So you do what works for you. Remember, if the plank walk doesn't work for you in your shoulders, you could simply hold a plank. You could throw in some type of a variation for some challenge, tapping the foot out, lifting a foot up, lifting an elbow up. You don't have to do the full walking plank if it doesn't work for you. All right, so we have bench dips now. So I think I'll just leave this off. So for the bench dip, what we want to do is come to the edge of my step here. I think I'll turn maybe sideways so you can see a little better. So turning the hands out just a little bit so my shoulders roll back. What we don't want is the shoulders to roll forward on these. That can end up causing some issues with the shoulder. So if my legs are extended, it's a little harder. My legs are bent, I'm getting a little bit more assistance from my legs. So I squeeze my shoulders back. My hands are slightly turned out. And I lower down and up. And it's not going to be really possible for me to go past 90 degrees with this step because my rear end hits the ground. But if you were on a higher surface, you would have the potential of going past 90, but don't do it. Now, for some reason that absolutely does not work for you, you might try a narrow push-up. So that's still working the triceps. So that would look like this. Elbows stay in. I'm still keeping my shoulders back. My hands are still just slightly turned out. And that could be done on your knees as well. Okay, so the next one I have for you is going to be a chest press on the ball. So I'm going to go ahead and take my ball here, and I'm going to lay down on my back. Now, the thing about the chest press on the ball is it adds a level of instability, so more of my body has to work. So my core has to work, my legs will have to work a little bit more. I could do these on the ground, which I will show you. I could also use my bench, my step, to do it as well. If you don't have an actual bench at home, any of these options will work. So if I'm on the ball, again, my hips have to work, my core has to work, and I'll do my chest press here, nice and slow. So I will show you when I get up, the angle you absolutely want to keep with these hands and arms. Hopefully you can see it. I'm at a 45-degree angle, so it's almost like I'm drawing a little bit of a triangle here. So what I'm not doing is angling my hands this way. They actually go like this. Okay, so what I mean is, and I'll use these little guys so you can see. So what I'm not doing is going straight out. I actually angle the weights like this. Hopefully you can see that. So they're not flat. They angle at a 45. Okay, so if I don't have a ball, I can do it on the floor. That works just fine. I could also do it on my step. I just created my own little home bench. All right. So the next exercise is a pullover. And you have all the same options. You can do it on the ball. I'm grabbing the top of my dumbbell carefully. I'm engaging my lats, my core is tight, and then I start to reach over my head. I'm only going to the point where I feel a bit of a stretch in my chest and shoulders, a little bit in my lats, but no pinching. You'll notice I have a teeny bend in my elbows, but I'm not bending them more as I go over my head, so that's what I'm not doing. So I'm coming up my head, and I'm coming back. So that's how it would look on the ball. And you have the same options on the floor. Your range of motion will be a little bit more limited. Same option on your step. Okay, so the last one is a hamstring curl and a ball bridge using the ball. If you don't have a ball, I recommend single-legged bridges, which I will show for you. So if I'm doing the hamstring curls, I'm laying down, arms down, and I lift my hips up. Core is engaged. And I pull the ball in and out. So my recommendation is 30 seconds of these, and then 30 seconds lifting up and down. And for you, it might be less or it might be more. But that's just what I recommend for this particular workout. And again, about 30 seconds of each. Now, if those feel way too easy for you, you could do a single-legged version of either of those. So here's the single-legged hamstring. Okay, here's a single-legged bridge. Much more challenging. And if you don't have a ball, I recommend the single-legged bridge that I've shown in several of my videos. And you can do 30 seconds each side. Okay, so if I were doing a giant circuit, I go back now to the top. If I'm now doing just the last of my 3 groups of exercises, I'm all done with everything. I'm going to move on to Tabata. So Tabata is 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. For 3 minutes, so I'm suggesting for this workout 3 rounds of 3 minutes. So that ends up being close to 9 minutes of Tabata. I'm just going to show you 1 round of Tabata with some options of things that you can do, and then you can take it from there. Okay, so 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, and I'm just going to, like I said, show you some body weight options. If you have a treadmill or a bike or something else that you want to use for this, go for it. All right, so we've got 20 seconds. I'm going to start with some jumping jacks. So I'm really trying to elevate my heart rate. The last big blast at the end of our workout. And we rest for 10. 10 seconds of rest. I'm going to keep showing you some different options for body weight cardio Tabata. Here we go. So I'm running in place. Of course, you could also march. You could simply march for all of these. Use the arms. We'll get the heart rate up even more. Rest. So, the next one I'm going to do is mountain climbers. Here we go. Okay, bring the stopwatch over here. Rest. All right, so we're halfway through our first round of Tabata. And again, you'll be doing 3 rounds of these 3 minutes. So you could keep repeating one of these exercises for 3 minutes and then switch to another, or you could do what I'm doing and mix it up. Skater hops. Rest. So if you have a step, you can certainly use a step for one of your sets of Tabata. All right, here we go. So my arms get the heart rate up more. Rest. We'll just do one more, then we take a brief rest, and then we do it all again. All right, so I'm going to do squat jacks this time. And again, this could be done on the treadmill, the bike, if you have that at home. All right, rest. Okay, so you will do that 2 more times. You're doing 3 total rounds of Tabata for 3 minutes each. All right, so that's what I have for you today. Please make sure you stretch, and I hope to see you soon.